borrow something from a friend, but no sharing. Yeah, every other row should be kicked on and passed and back to it, right?
Does everybody need some pens? I have some up here. Pens, anybody?
Yeah, if you could bring the extras just down to the end of the aisle, that would be great. All right, so what you have in front of you is a card, what I learned growing up. And what I'd like for you to do is I want you to place a plus where you learned something that was positive about a group of people. I want you to place a negative where you learned something negative about a group of people. I want you to place a 0 where you learned nothing about a group of people. All right? The size of your plus or the size of your minus is the measure of how much you learned. All right? Now, you can have positives and negatives in each one of these boxes, all right? So here were your teachers, whether they had formal or informal curriculum to teach you about these groups is up for you to decide, but these are the people who, or the institutions that taught you about each of these groups. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to put a plus, a minus, or a 0 in any of these categories. So what did you learn from your parents and family about Asian Americans? All right? Plus, minus, or 0. And you can have a plus and a minus, but again, the size of your plus and the size of your minus will dictate how much you learn. All right? So I'll give you a couple of minutes for that. The cards do take a bit of tenacity, so I thank you for your patience. All right, stop right where you are. I know you didn't get a chance to finish this. I encourage you to finish it on your own. I'm not interested in where you have pluses or minuses. So I'm not going to ask any questions around that. That's for you to think about yourself. What I do want to ask you, though, is were there any thoughts or emotions that you encountered as you were filling out that card? Did you have any thoughts running through your head or emotions or?
One
Yes.
thing I remembered was the miniseries Roots.
Okay.
Growing up, and I thought that was really positive.
Okay. So you remember watching Roots as a young person, and you thought that was very positive.
Really, really young.
Really, really young. Yes, ma'am.
How they've changed,
How they've changed. How what's changed?
like from parents to family, from school. Not to where it is now with TV and school or workplace.
Okay. I'm still not clear on what's changed. What's changed?
The positive and negative.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how the positives and negatives have changed. Okay. Cool. Other people. Okay, you can recall specific times when you were told negative things. All right? Yes, ma'am, in the back. Okay, so you learned about the Japanese. What you learned here was very negative, but you knew a missionary who told you positive things about the Japanese. All right? Cool. Other folks? Yes, ma'am.
Disabled Americans.
Disabled Americans?
It was brought back to me when I was younger, and somebody come in a wheelchair and he was having no arm with the leg. And I'd stand there and stare at him, and my parents would stop me right in the spot and explain the situation.
Okay.
And why they're in a wheelchair and stuff.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I do. Before you answer, I want you to answer. I do notice a pattern that a number of women are raising their hands. Just something to think about. Yes, ma'am.
How in my work life, it's more negative views, but in my personal life, it's more positive. That if I were just basing my experiences on these groups based on what I do at work,
Okay.
it would be a very negative view on things.
Okay.
Knowing so kind of like I see the work.
Okay. All right. So your work experiences don't necessarily reflect your personal experiences. Okay. Cool. Other folks? Yes, sir.
How society has changed growing up in the 60s to now.
Yeah. How society has changed. Okay. Cool. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think when I was young, seeing our experience with blacks is all you would hear stuff on TV or something. You know, like at college, got to know something, from friends. So that,
Yeah.
Things I learned at home, and then later on, and the older a person gets, the more you realize that a lot of the crap you hear around the campfire when you're a kid didn't mean a darn thing.
Mm-hmm. He said a lot of, as you get older, you start to reflect on stuff that you learned as a kid, and you realize that it didn't mean a whole lot, or that they were in some cases probably wrong.
Completely wrong.
Completely wrong. Yes, sir.
I guess coming from South Minneapolis also, moving out here, you know, how people are so behind out here compared to
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Or at least, no, but it's real interesting because it can appear to be like that, right? However, this is something that I've been battling. I've been watching a lot of YouTubes, and there's this the scientist that believes that your race determines how smart you are, and that the people with the lowest IQ are in the interior of Africa, and that the Europeans are in the middle of the IQ range, and that the Asians are at the high end of the IQ range. But I was just, as I'm thinking about that, I'm just like, IQ for what, right? Because if you put me on a farm, I'm an idiot, right? You put a farm boy in the middle of the city, he's an idiot, right? You put me in the middle of the Sudan, I don't know, how am I going to survive, right? So a lot of times it's IQ for what? And I really believe that people are doing the best they can with what they have. And that the skills that, we need, in downtown Minneapolis don't necessarily apply when I'm out here in downtown Buffalo, right? I can actually say hi to people in Buffalo, but in Minneapolis, right? I mean, I can, the police will treat me halfway decent out. Anyway, any other thoughts or comments that people had? Yes, ma'am.
It brought back like my grandpa's naughty jokes that my parents weren't happy with me hearing, but I never let my kids hear.
So those naughty jokes that your grandparents used to say that, all right, cool.